My landlord walked into the courtroom with a tablet full of evidence and a smile on her face, but after the judge asked her one simple question, she didn't say another word. 4 months ago, I walked into my house after work and froze. My landlord, Mrs. Krause, was in my bedroom going through my closet, tossing my belongings on the floor. This was the 5th time, and I'd only moved in 3 weeks ago. "What are you doing?" I asked. She didn't even look up. "Checking for unauthorized storage. You need to give me 24-hour notice before entering. It's in the lease." She turned around and laughed in my face. "This is my property. I don't need permission." I stood there feeling my face get hot. She'd already moved my furniture around, went through my mail, even accidentally left my front door unlocked for anyone to waltz in one of the days. I'd tried to be polite before, but that night I finally put my foot down. I physically pushed her out and immediately sent a picture of the exact lease section about 24-hour notice for entry. She texted back immediately. "I'm sorry, you're correct. Please forgive me. This will not happen again." I was surprised, but also happy. The next week, she didn't come into my home even once. The problem was solved. Then 7 days later, I woke up for work like normal. I just paid my first month's rent the day before, but when I got home that evening, my key didn't work. I tried it 3 times before realizing the lock had been changed. Then I noticed something around the side of my house. I walked out and saw all my stuff, my TV, my clothes in trash bags, my dishes on the curb. Everything I owned was sitting on the street. That's when my phone buzzed. A text from Mrs. Krause. "I'm keeping your deposit for early termination. You have 1 hour to remove your belongings from my property." I couldn't breathe. I called my brother and thankfully he let me stay at his. The next morning I called a lawyer. "This is illegal eviction. We're suing her for $5,000. We filed the lawsuit and Mrs. Krause's texts started immediately. "You have no idea who you're dealing with. I'll bury you in court. Drop this lawsuit now or you'll be sorry. I've done this before." I spent the next 2 weeks preparing, gathering absolutely everything. Then I walked into the courthouse. This was a slam dunk case. I was going to win. Until I saw Mrs. Krause with her lawyer. She was carrying a thick leather folder. She looked right at me and smiled like she had an ace up her sleeve. Her lawyer walked straight over to me. He was smiling too. "We filed a countersuit this morning," he said, handing my lawyer the papers. "Your client owes Mrs. Krause $7,000 in damages." My lawyer's face went white. He pulled me aside and started flipping through the papers. "This is bad," he whispered. "We have zero preparation for this. She's claiming you put dozens of holes in the walls. She has evidence. Did you do this?" "No, that's impossible." I barely unpacked. Mrs. A. Krause was across the hallway watching us panic, loving every second of it. "All rise for Judge Whitmore." We walked into the courtroom. My hands were shaking. My lawyer presented my case first. The illegal eviction. The photos of my belongings on the street. Everything. Judge Whitmore took notes and nodded. Then Mrs. Krause's lawyer stood up. "Your Honor, my client had legitimate reasons for the eviction. The defendant caused significant property damage. We have video evidence." He pulled out a tablet and showed it to the judge. Mrs. Krause stood next to him looking confident. Judge Whitmore studied the video carefully. I couldn't see what was on the screen, but I could see his face. He was frowning. "Your Honor," Mrs. Krause said, "if you look at the bedroom, you can see the damage." Judge Whitmore squinted at the screen. "Where exactly?" "I don't see any holes in these walls." "That's because the holes are behind the posters on the walls, Your Honor. The defendant hung posters to cover the dozens of holes they punched into my walls." The judge looked up at her. "The holes are behind the posters?" "Yes, Your Honor. I didn't want to remove his posters to show the holes for privacy, but they're definitely there." Judge Whitmore set down the tablet. "When was this video taken?" "While the defendant was living there, Your Honor." There was a long pause. "Since you mentioned respecting her privacy, I'm assuming you asked her permission to enter the home and film this video?" Mrs. Krause's confident smile disappeared. Her mouth opened, but nothing came out. "Ms. Krause, I asked you a question. Did you have permission to enter and record this video?" "Your Honor, it's my property." "That's not what I asked. Yes or no?" Mrs. Krause looked around. Yes, Your Honor. I asked him for permission." My face dropped. My lawyer shot up immediately. "Mrs. Krause is committing perjury, Your Honor." Her face was white. She was lying and she knew it. "You illegally entered my client's home," my lawyer continued. "You illegally filmed her bedroom. Then you used that illegal film to file a fake countersuit that defames my client. We have proof of this right here. Do you still claim you had permission to record his bedroom?" Mrs. Krause's knees buckled. Full story on channel linked below.